Alright, today is the monthly mobile food pantry haul. There are 2 in my county within, both are about 10 miles from my house, but everything's about 10 miles from my house. The one, I go first because it starts first, and it was really packed. And so if I can remember what we got there, I will share that with you. But the other one that I went to, that one I was one of the last 2 cars to get there, and so whatever was left, they loaded me up. So before everybody freaks out, please note that they were at the end and they were getting rid of a bunch, and I explained that I share with other people in our mobile home park, and so they gave me extras because they needed to get it out. Alright, a mobile pop-up pantry is where they pop up and you go to a designation, you stay in your car, you pop up the back of your trunk, they load it up and you drive off. You do not pick, you do not choose, you tell the number of households you're picking up for and how many people are in the household. So I say 1 and there's 7 people in my household. Now, some places will be like, if there's 5 or more people, they'll give you 2 portions, and some just do 1. So it just depends on where you are and all of that. Alright, with that said, I will share with you, I just laid it all out on the table here, and we're going to go through it. Most of this was from that last pantry, but a lot of it is overlapping items. For example, the first one I went to, for our 1 portion, we got 2 of these Jenny Craig chicken vegetable pad thai skillet. This is a 1 serving thing, so I would have had 2 meals for this. However, at the other place, I received a whole box that they were getting rid of. So now I have enough for a full family. So that's what I got here for that. I have 2 things of potatoes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bags of garbanzo beans or chickpeas. I believe I got 2 at the first one and the rest at the other place. I think I got 1 of these at the first place and the rest at the other place. These are more of those date pieces. That is a gingerbread kit. That just stays there. I have 3 hot dogs. I have 4 almonds. I have 1 chili with beans. I have 5 bags of frozen blueberries, 3 dozen eggs, 1 at the first place and then 2 at the second. 2 bags of raisins. That is mine. Like, what is that? That's mine. I have 5 gallons of 2% milk. Get to that here. I have 1 thing of these apple slices, Honey Crisp. I have a gingerbread kit. I have a small bag of red potatoes. I have 2 bags of apples here from the first place. And then I have, for my family of 7, they gave me 8 sparkling waters. And then I have 2, 4, 6 bags of yellow split peas or lentils. This is still from the other one. So please stay tuned because we're going to share with you a lot of yellow split pea or yellow lentil recipes coming up. Alright, so that's the table. We also have a bag in a bag. So this was at my first place. This is at the last place. This is all cabbage. This is all cuties. And this is all apples. I don't think we're going to get to these before they go bad, and the people I share with, I don't know how many I will be able to get out before they go bad. So If you have another way to use these, please share them, because oh my goodness, we have a lot to use before they go bad. So that is it for today's video, or that's the haul portion of today's video. What else I like to do is just show with you different ways you can make this work for your family. We have a lot of ingredients here, and so like garbanzo beans and lentils. I will share with you one recipe in today's video to how to use that. Potatoes and cabbage, I mean, you've got a great basic Great Depression meal right there. And date pieces. This one is really great to just add like on top of salads instead of like cranberries. So that would be another way to use those. Blueberries in smoothies, blueberries in pies, blueberries in muffins. Like, can't go wrong with blueberries. For $10, you can turn this and this and an Aldi trip into your homemade trail mix. So at Aldi, I picked up a bag of chocolate chips, a bag of banana chips, a jar of honey roasted peanuts, and a bag of, I think, pineapple pieces. It's about $10. And it made 2 half-gallon jars, so 1 gallon and 1 quart. And this will last forever. And it took your 2 main ingredients, which was the almonds and the raisins. These are roasted, but they are not seasoned. And so having like the other items with it is a great way to kind of break up or give this a little bit more flavor. Okay, so we're going to share with you that one recipe in just a quick second. Alright, in today's video I am going to share with you a recipe using some food pantry items and what it's going to take to make this. So let's start with number 1. First things first, you can either use, these are canned garbanzo beans from the food pantry, or there are dried beans from garbanzo beans or chickpeas from the food pantry. And you can follow the directions on the back to make these. Just a simple soak and cook is pretty much all they need. There is the quick soak and the overnight soak. I will do the overnight soak for our family. But in order to make this and show you how to do that, I've actually pulled out the canned garbanzo beans to do this with. This recipe is going to call for some vegetable or chicken broth, whichever one you want. Now, I pulled out from my freezer, these are vegetable scraps. So onions and garlic and celery and carrots and zucchini, all of that. I have 3 gallon bags full. I'm just going to take a stock pot out. Take my medium one. Okay, this is my large one. This large one it's huge. This is pretty average. This is like a large one, and then this is like my extra large one. This part is super simple. You're just going to dump this in, cover it with water. I'm going to put in a couple bay leaves and some salt, and I'm going to get some vegetable broth going on the stove. So this would be your day before meal prep. You're going to get your stock going, and you want to get your garbanzo beans soaking. Alright, other things we're going to be needing in this recipe, I'm going to explain some of the like food pantry items that we have and whatnot. What I don't have pictured and what would be absolutely phenomenal in this is celery. However, I'm completely out and figured, hey, let's do this as real as I possibly can. Sometimes I have even like chopped up bell pepper in the freezer, and that would work. I have chopped up celery in the freezer. That would also work. I just don't have any this time. These are carrots that I did get from the food pantry all those really large carrots. I chopped several up and I just threw them into bags into the freezer for such a time as this, for soups. You're going to need some garlic. This is the last that I grew, so that's what I will use, but you can do like some granulated garlic. You're going to need a lemon. If you don't have a lemon, you can use some lemon juice. I only have lime juice. I do have lemons in the fridge, so I will be using that in my recipe. But don't forget you can do lime or lemon. The recipe calls for fresh thyme and rosemary, and I do not have any, so I'm going to be using some dried. It also calls for some fresh spinach. I do not have any. I do have this canned one from the food pantry, and I do have a collard greens from the food pantry. And so I'm actually going to use the collard greens, believe it or not. And then you're going to need your potatoes. These are from the food pantry, and you're going to need an onion. I purchased this. So those are the ingredients we're going to need for this meal. And I will see you in just a little bit. First things first, the night before, get your garbanzo beans soaking. Get your vegetable broth if you're going to be making your own going. And then the next day, what we're going to do is we're going to chop our onion. I'm going to peel my potatoes because a lot of them have spots that I don't see until I've peeled. And we're making a soup, so I want to peel those. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so first things first, we're going to put onion in the Dutch oven. And we're going to get that going. So I just diced up an onion, putting in my frozen carrot. If you've got celery, you're going to add it now. And we're just going to cook this on a medium heat for about 7 to 8 minutes until the onion looks a little bit done and the other vegetables look, like they've been cooking for 7 to 8 minutes. Alright, now I have added my chopped garlic. I did a pinch of thyme because I'm not too fond of that flavor, and a little bit of rosemary. Remember that when you're using dried herbs, you need to use less than what a recipe says. So we're just going to cook this for a bit, and then I'm going to add the potatoes. Alright, so now I'm adding the potatoes, all the potatoes, and you're going to add the chickpeas and your broth to the stock pot, and then you're going to bring it to a low boil. Alright, so the next step for this, I'm using an immersion blender. However, what you can do is you can take out a little bit of your soup, put it in a blender and blend. We're just going to make this a little creamy. So I'm just doing this. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about appliances, because you can cook your beans. The best way to do that would be in a Instapot. It's the easiest and quickest way to cook beans. However, I know not everybody has an Instapot. So that's something else to know, that I might have some kitchen tools that maybe you don't have, but there are substitutes on how to cook things like this. So take a little bit out, put it in your blender with some liquid, and then put it back in here, and that'll make it more creamy. And then with the beans, you can cook it as a pot on the stove, or you can put it in your Instapot, or you can put it in your crock pot if you have one of those, and cook it on a low heat overnight. So I'm just going to cream this up a bit. You can turn it off. Now we're going to add our greens. I'm not draining it or anything. The whole thing's just going to go in there. I want every bit of that flavor. And we're just going to work it in, and then we're going to add our lemon juice. Huh? Okay. Alright, there you go. Just play along with the flavors until you get it what you want, but a lot of this just using food pantry ingredients. And if you get any of these from the food pantry, this would be a great time to serve it with dinner. I'm just making a pan of cornbread, and we're going to serve that with the soup.